In the heart of New England, right outside Middletown, Pennsylvania, lay the 3 Mile Island nuclear plant. But early one spring morning in 1979, things went horribly wrong.
I'm Boeh.
And I'm Dune.
And let's dig into the 3 Mile Island accident. First, some background. TM1's construction started in 1968 and first started producing power in 1974. It continues to operate to this day. TMI-2 construction started a year after and opened in 1978. From the start, TMI-2 had problems. The reactor's operators began to falsify reports because of the lackadaisical performance of TMI-2, and repeated shutdowns and delays misled the operators to believe that the accident was just another glitch.
Just before 4 a.m. on March 28th, a minor malfunction set off a chain reaction, one that would become the worst accident in U.S. commercial nuclear history. It started with a failure in the plant's secondary system, a blockage that stopped the flow of water needed to remove heat. Then a relief valve in the primary system opened and stayed open. This valve was meant to release pressure, but it never closed again. Superheated coolant began escaping from the core. Inside the control room, operators misread the situation.
Operators assumed the reactor was overfilled with coolant. In fact, it was losing it. Their actions shut down emergency systems, worsening the loss.
This is from the Rogovin Report, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission's official investigation into the incident. Training manuals didn't cover the scenario that was unfolding. Warning lights blinked, but operators had no clear guidance. The report continued.
There was no understanding of what was actually happening inside the core. The response was based on incorrect assumptions, not on measured data.
Inside the core, the water level dropped, and the fuel rods began to overheat. Parts of the radioactive core melted, and though the contaminant vessel held. Though the incident killed and injured 0 people, it still caused a mass evacuation of over 140,000.
Nuclear energy, once seen as the future, now stood on shaky ground. Protests surged. New regulations were passed. Nuclear plant construction slowed dramatically, and safety training and reactor design was reimagined. The Institute of Nuclear Power Operations was founded, and emergency preparedness rose to a new level.
There were several key people involved in the 3 Mile Island accident. James Frederick Beth and Edward Frederick both worked in the control room during the accident. Harold Denton was the Nuclear Regulatory Commission's director at the time and was a spokesperson and leader during the response. Also, President Jimmy Carter was actually a nuclear engineer and had direct involvement in the recovery process. The president visited the site only 4 days after the disaster. The 3 Mile Island accident fell right at the rise of nuclear power and foreshadowed the Chernobyl disaster several years later. While not fatal, it changed the course of many lives forever and the progression of nuclear power.